Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint. Hey, oh Baku, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Mr. Derek. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, anime, manga, other kinds of niche news, anything that Baku and I think is cool and interesting. We're going to talk about it today, and well, we've got a lot to talk about. Actually, like legit, I'm looking at the docket here, and it's a bit looking longer than usual. So. I mean, it'll be determined. We'll see how long the show actually is. It might actually go a little longer than usual, but some of this is little shorter stuff to talk about. But man, we do actually touch on just about everything today. Merch drops, a manga, huge manga news. In fact, Baku, what would you say is today's top headline?
Did you know the author to Hunter x Hunter is coming back?
Oh man,
did you know that?
I did know that because I made it the top headline. I'm so I'm so freaking excited, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But before we do, hey Baku, how was your week, dude? What were you up to?
Taking a day off on Sunday, and then you know, I rested.
Yeah, I feel that. I didn't. I wish I did. I completely thrashed my body the other day. So the reason the reason that Baku and I didn't have HitPoint yesterday was because it was my wife's birthday. So we were celebrating that. So I spent the entire like weekend prior like weeding and like building up the backyard to like have this big kind of party kind of deal. So I just pulled all kinds of weeds, got all the moss off the side of the house that was like slowly growing there for a while. I fixed the dryer. I did all kinds of weird like handyman stuff around the house. Yes, the dryer, the heating element wasn't working because apparently the thermostats inside of it were both just borked, so I had to replace them. And I did it somehow. I didn't know that was a skill I had, but apparently it is. And anyways, I'm beat the heck up right now. Like every part of me is sore, and but I feel like really accomplished.
Yeah. Wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Tomorrow, I'm just because I'm gonna have to do stuff again tomorrow, and it's gonna suck.
Oh no.
Oh man. Well, hey, let's take a look at some comments from last week because we had put out a little bit of a bit of a challenge, right? We asked people to do my homework for me.
Yes. Well, so let's go through it. Well, before that, we got this one comment from D. Linton.
Oh, yeah.
Such D. Linton. Yes. It says, I like having physical, but I know the experience of playing them is still on a device. I don't own a lot of stuff, so a few physical games keep me company. Even seeing the game card reminds me of the good times I had playing the game. I don't get that feeling, for example, with looking at my computer and digital icons and digital games I have.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole talk about like owning physical copies of games.
Yeah, I think that was in kind of response to the voicemail that we were talking about, kind of like the end of ownership of games as we move into like a things like what's Xbox program that
Game Pass?
Yeah, that's the one. And then PlayStation's doing their own sort of thing with all of their
PS Plus.
Yeah, and they're getting like PlayStation 2, PS3 emulated or not emulated, like you know what I'm talking about. It's been a while.
All kinds of stuff.
But there's a whole bunch of those digital services, and I definitely agree. I much prefer to have something to hold to, like I think I've said it before like this. Like I just like having a thing that I can like project my feelings onto and be like, I love this game. This is great, you know.
It's like the physical manifestation of that experience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, no, I inclined to agree. I mean, just look at my back shelf.
Yeah, having something.
I have things.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
You got like all. I feel like that's just an extension of it, right? Like I would collect things like that. Except I feel like at least back in the day, the games that I really got into, they just didn't have figures that you could get here in the U.S. at least. Like if if I could go into like a Kmart back in the day and get like a Ness figure or something, I totally would. You know,
Yeah.
I would have
Hmm.
definitely got like the action figures to go along with, with all of the RPGs that I started discovering, like Breath of Fire. That'd be so cool. But
Like Funko Pop, Amiibo, like those
yeah.
were the more regularly available ones in the States.
But by the time that we
Yeah.
finally did start getting things more regularly available, I was out of shelf space. So
I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. And yeah, you know what? I never thought of it like that, but now that you mentioned it, yeah, I guess those figures are sort of the extension of that sort of feel. Like you saw in anime, it's like, oh yeah, this figure just reminds me of the great times.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like, especially because I don't own much manga, I would probably be far more inclined to have like uh manga or anime figures as well of
Hmm.
just like stuff that I have enjoyed. Like I would definitely go get a Gon figure or Karapika or the
Yeah.
Oreo from like Hunter x Hunter, which we're gonna talk about later on. But
We're definitely going to talk about, yeah. Yeah,
but
game figures are definitely taking off. So for all you game lovers out there, yeah, keep an eye out.
for sure.
All right.
All right. So we did actually get a lot of responses though when we posed the question about kind of what made the 90s RPGs just so great in particular. And we actually
Speaking
got a
of the
lot of
90s,
responses. So we're going to
yes,
tackle through some of these as well.
yes.
Starting with S Hyde, who said old games had a ton of fan service too, because at the time Baku and I were talking about how it was harder to do the fan service back in the day. Um,
Yeah.
so he says he believes it was more of a matter of games becoming more mainstream, so they aim to be more generic. Everyone wants everything to sell to everyone, and I
Yeah.
think that there's definitely some truth to that statement, because back in the day it was definitely like, here, let's make some stuff that we love, and now it's like, yeah, we want to make sure that this game sells the most, so therefore anything that's like a little weird or that might not appeal to everybody, it's like become the pop music effect, right? Like
Hmm.
where nobody really loved, like god, what was the band, like Nickelback? Nobody was ever like, I'm a huge Nickelback fan. It was just one of those things that, like, it was just passable enough to most people that it was just kind of like all that was ever on the radio for a while.
Mm.
It was just like, okay, hang on, this is getting old, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. The next we got from Dual Beer. The 90s RPGs were great because there were already only so little to reference, that many of the ideas and concepts felt fresh and new.
Yeah, there was
Hmm.
probably some novelty there, because at this point, a lot of the things that I loved about RPGs back then, today,
Hmm.
people would probably refer to them as tropes. So,
Hmm.
over time, people probably get a little bit more jaded with, seeing homages to, the same old thing back then. Maybe.
See, this is why I never have an issue with things like I don't know, like Naruto or whatever new shonen's out right now, like Jujutsu Kaisen. I was talking to a friend and I was like, hey, Jujutsu Kaisen just felt like just another shonen anime, but I'm not like mad at it because like every generation grown up needs their own Dragon Ball and their own Bleach and their own Naruto to grow up with.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think, yeah, I don't think like crying about it, like, oh, it's using the same formula. Yeah, but that's like, depriving a new generation of that experience that we had. Like, so what if it's the same formula? It's not for you. It's for the younger generation who never got their Dragon Ball and their Naruto. So let them have, like, that. It's
Yeah.
okay. We can keep that, like, non-changing formula. Same thing with these RPGs and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping there are these like games that really do try to do like a faithful representation of how like the 90s games are for the kids growing up today, which is why I'm very happy about Trinity Trigger, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, you bet we will. Okay, so Type of Maiden also said here, I think 90s RPGs are special because it was a time where graphics were improving, but we had yet to really reach the point of photorealism. So there's this whole element of using our imagination to draw us into the game's worlds, and
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of that going on,
Hmm.
even as late as like probably Final Fantasy VII, which is one of the main reasons I feel like a lot of people have such like an affinity for that, is that our imaginations were still, malleable. They were still working overtime. They still filled in the gaps. There's these
Hmm.
whenever how it's like whenever you're watching a horror movie and then they finally show the monster, and all of a sudden the monster is way less scary than you thought it would be. Because your brain is way better at like filling in the gaps and making something way
Hmm.
scarier than you could
Yeah.
probably get out of, like, especially like early 2000s CGI. Um
Right.
so a lot of that still applies to not just like the monster of horror movies, but the entire worlds that existed in the Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1 era, where basically you were handed a handful of pixels and it was up to you to interpret what it was,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of that, I think, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people underestimate how much our brain subconsciously fills in gaps, like when we don't even think about it, to like complete certain images.
Oh my gosh. There was actually, speaking of that, there's this really interesting thing that they found, that there's actually, when it comes to speech in particular, there's
Hmm.
actually a very verbal and visual element to it as well, to the point where
Hmm.
they've taken like sounds like ba and
Hmm.
va, and essentially
Hmm.
they can switch around the video associated with those words, and if you say
Hmm.
them, that like, if you switch the video out, it'll sound different to the person watching and
Mm.
reading. It's really weird, but there's a whole element of our what our brains make up that we don't fully understand, and it's
Hmm.
constantly changing. It's weird. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I remember there was this one experiment of some sort where they had a couple words that are like nonsensical words.
Hmm.
But then they said it, and then they asked like, "Hey, do you think this object would be like sharp or round or?" And like most people find something that starts with like, I don't know, the buzz sound would be like more round, and then like something
Uh-huh.
else would be more square or triangle or pointy or sharp. Yeah, so those are pretty interesting, and it ties into what you were saying about like the words having some kind of visual element.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next one we got, the final entry is from Graph, which by the way, Dave got this like long paragraph, but I'm just gonna condense it. So here we go. It was the constraints and limitations of the older consoles that made old school console RPGs great. Having only so much space on the chip to work with, they had to make everything count, from graphics, story, music, and gameplay. Games trying to emulate the old style fall short as they're made using modern tech. They can put in every single aspect of a story without having to condense it down. They can make everything look perfect, even when trying to look 8 or 16-bit. Yeah, I think
That's
I just 100% agree with that one.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like that definitely touches on some of what we talked about as well last week when we
Hmm.
were discussing
Yeah.
it, like how the limitations bred creativity. But this one, I think, definitely touches a little bit more on something that we didn't talk as much about, which is
Hmm.
definitely that the deliberateness in which you have
Hmm.
to utilize each piece of information, each
Hmm.
space, each pixel has to convey something, um,
Yeah.
and
It's a lot more
each.
well thought out, maybe,
Mhm, for sure.
because they had to, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some uh, diminishing returns when it comes to something like that, especially when it
Hmm.
comes to localization of the era, because there were a lot of times when things got lost in translation, not because of our inability to properly, localize them, like on a mental scale, but just because there wasn't enough space in the English language to like convey that within the bits allocated for text. So it's just kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Like Ted Woolsey, I think, was famously stated that like he had to translate Secret of Mana, and because of the space limitations, like about half of the actual script had to be cut out. In the process, it like nearly killed him to do so. Like he
Oh
felt
my
so bad
god.
about having to make those kinds of edits. So super
Yeah,
interesting.
man,
Thanks
I can imagine. Yeah.
thanks for doing my homework, everybody. No, I don't think
Well,
I
no,
might make a video
your
about it
real
at some
homework
point.
is taking all this and condensing it down to a video, which you have to shoot and also edit. So your homework ain't quite done yet.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll think about it. Yeah, I should actually make a video about that at some point.
Hmm.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for leaving such cool and thoughtful comments. Um,
Yeah.
Also, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can also do so by leaving us a phone by calling us 785-337-3805, or you could send us a voice file to HitPoint at SuperDerekRPGs.com.
Let's go.
Also, we will also read super chats at the end of each episode. So if you feel like you've got some questions that just can't wait until next week, then yeah, just throw out a super chat with the question, and we'll address it at the end.
Yes. Looking forward to them.
So
All
I'm gonna
right.
move on to these. Well, we got an upcoming release this
Ooh.
week, don't we?
Yes.
This one's
Well,
kind of your
it's
jam.
actually already released. See, there wasn't really what is it called? There wasn't really any kind of early notice on this one. So this is a game that I really like. It's called Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix. Now, nothing's really new to this particular version. For anyone who has ever played the Project Diva game before, you might have heard something called the Project Diva Mega Mix on the Switch, or also Project Diva Future Tone. It's really just the same game, but
Mhm.
now it's on PC and it's now called Mega Mix Plus. But I think the big thing is, well, it's really two. Is one is that it reaches a much wider audience now that games on the PC. But also, the resolution and frame rates are basically completely unlocked. Graphically speaking, the texture looks a lot like the Switch version.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's easier if we just take a look at it, probably.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Um, you know what? It occurred to me. I don't think I added it to this here. Let me add that real quick. I'll just copy
Okay.
that and add it right there.
Man, you are so fast.
There we go.
Wow.
Okay, yeah,
All right.
let's give that trailer a quick gander here.
Let's go. Is this me or is there no sound? Do you hear a sound, Derek?
Uh, you know what? I do, but there. How's that?
Oh, there we go.
Here, let's start that again. My bad.
The sound cut off again.
Oh, everybody else should still be able to hear it.
Oh, yeah, well, if people can hear it, we're good.
This song is absolutely the most anime to ever anime.
Basically.
But I guess that's kind of like Hatsune Miku in a nutshell, right? As a Vocaloid.
In some sense, yeah. There are just so many different styles of songs that they do. So yeah, so basically this is a rhythm game series that's been going on for, oh man, like almost 15 years.
Was the first one on PlayStation 3?
No, the first one's on the PSP.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah, so this game it's got like, man, 100, I don't know how many songs. I've actually sat through and played through every single song back to back, and it took me 18 hours. So, and that's just one playthrough of every song. I think I did it for like a 24-hour thing, and it took me 18 hours just to go through every single song. That's not including all like the new songs that came out since then. So Lots of entertainment. If you are a big fan of like rhythm games, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that looks pretty interesting. So how would you rate the difficulty of that as like is that an entry level rhythm game or does it kind of have different difficulty levels?
Well, so every song has four four difficulty levels.
Oh,
So
okay.
every single song has like four difficulty levels. So it's hard to say exactly how like where you may fall. I
I
play in a hard
gotcha.
mode, but I can't do extreme mode, right?
Hmm.
So I'm like level 3, if you
Yeah.
will.
It just occurred to me. I was like, well, I played, Guitar Hero, and it'd be
Hmm.
very difficult for me to tell you like, oh yeah, definitely start with Guitar Hero 3 because that one
Yeah.
was the easiest one, even though they all have different difficulty levels. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Uh,
sometimes like when it comes to rhythm game, you just like jive with certain songs. Like even if the button press is a little like more complicated because you get the flow, the rhythm, like
yeah.
it just comes to you anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it could be like that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, we got some new game announcement stuff to kind of talk about here.
A
Um,
lot of new games announced.
my gosh. Okay, yeah. You take this first one since we kind of I talked about this one a little bit last week, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
your turn.
Yep, we talked about it. So yeah, so guess who was right about it being Trinity? Hmm?
Yeah,
Mm,
man. And
mm.
you know what? I rewatched that whole thing where we were guessing the title. I rewatched it and I was like, what did we decide on? We were so freaking close.
We
And
were
I
so
and at
close.
one point I definitely tried to concede to you the Trinity.
Mhm.
But then we ended up not submitting it for some reason or other. And I thought about changing it, but I was like, it's the bit's gone on too long. I can't let's move the show along a little bit. I'm
Yeah,
done trying
yeah,
to get it
yeah.
right. But
Man,
but yeah, what the
we
heck?
were
They
so close.
accidentally leaked the title instead of actually like revealing it in the way that they wanted to. And oh, what the heck, man? That sucks.
Yeah. So this is an actual leak, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes like game companies will be like, "Oh, oops, we leaked it. Oh, what did we do?" Yeah, no, I think this is like not intentionally because they had the whole video trailer, which we'll watch the actual game trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that actually came out on the day that they said they would. So I think that was what their plans were. But then ever since I think the game cover leaked.
Yeah.
And then since the game cover leaked, they're like, I forget it. Let's just launch the website. Just whatever now. Uh, it was hilarious.
Ah,
Um,
man. I feel so bad for them
yeah.
because it was such a cool idea.
Hmm.
And I guess
Yeah.
what do they do? Do they have to just like omit tweets like before a certain date and then like only the people who guessed it right immediately got it a chance to
I
win?
have no
Or do they just
idea how
scrap the
they're
whole
gonna
thing
do
and be
this.
like, ah, whatever, screw it.
I would omit a certain like time. Like they'll figure out when it's leaked and then just like omit anything after that.
It's
You
probably
know?
at the deluge where they just start getting like
Yeah.
1,000 people submitting Trinity Trigger all at the
Yeah,
same time. They're like,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
y'all are a bunch of cheaters.
Like a sudden uptick of everyone getting it right. Little
Yeah.
sus. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so speaking of the game, the demo is now available on the Switch store and the PSN with a Japanese account.
Hmm.
So right now, the PSN requires a Japanese credit card to download the demo, which is weird. So the best way for overseas fan to try this demo would be through the Switch store. Now, that we have tried the demo, it does appear that the 1 to 3 players will not be like a live service kind of thing, like
Hmm.
Babylon Falls. But instead, it would be more like a Secret of Mana kind of co-op. So
Yep.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people complain about like Trials of Mana, like the remake not having that kind of co-op. Well, there you go. They're bringing that co-op back.
Yep. Couch
No
co-op.
words on whether or
Hmm.
not yeah, no words on whether or not the co-op will be like limited to local or we might have like online co-op. It would be
Yeah.
really cool if we can do online
Yeah.
co-op.
They've
So
definitely said that it will do couch co-op. We just haven't
yes,
got confirmation or the opposite of online, I think, at this point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be both. It could be both, right?
It could.
Like the option there. Yeah, but I don't know how they would handle it. I would imagine you have to go through PSN or like Nintendo, whatever service the equivalent thereof. Now The release again is going to be on September 15th. That hasn't changed since last week. And also, we still have no words on international release, but we'll keep you all posted. There's a new trailer, though. You want to take a look? Yeah, let's go.
All right. Hang on. Where is it? It's not in my. Let me add it real quick. Apparently, I must have just.
What's going on?
Yep, I'm just a little bit behind today. My bad. All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
神代の昔、秩序と混沌、それぞれを司る
It's so
神々
strange.
が
Like
相
I'm
争い
hearing like every other word of it.
大地を
Here, maybe if I turn
As
it up.
long as you guys out there can hear it, that's all that matters. I've watched it so many
人
times.
々の地トリニティアを怪人に着せしめ育成層神々の武器は今も大地に喫立したものトリニティトリガーそれはオーセンティックアクション RPG いざ共に行かん真なる発見の冒険へ
正当かいいものが手に入るかもな
ブリンガーの青年シアン
Yeah,
謎
so
多き生
that's
物トリマーと出
cyan
会い
apparently.
Cyan.
Yeah,
Cyan.
cyan.
Like the color blue.
俺が命を
Yeah.
狙われてる
Yeah.
なんで
I remembered his
Yeah.
name, and I couldn't remember
The
Elise.
girl's name
Ellie?
is Eris.
Eris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eris.
あなたが混沌の戦士に選ばれたの
Or is it Aerith?
ザンティスは神格を
Are we doing this again? They are bringing Nundies back. All right.
And then that guy, I can't remember.
Xantis.
Xantis. Yeah. Okay.
Xantis, yeah.
召喚者の強い思い
And these are the monsters.
Triggers.
Yeah, the triggers designed by the Pokemon designers. And-
Yep. The animation looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
You know, the art got this like slight, the Final Fantasy Tactics sort of.
Yeah, that kind of painterly look to it.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely does.
Many different kind of weapons that you can see.
Oh, wait, whoa, oh. I didn't get a chance to see what other weapon types there were.
You want to go back and take a look?
I can't control it from here, but if you want to.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, bow and arrow. Oh, was there? Okay, so there's a sword type, a
There are
spear,
8 weapons.
an axe.
Just
Oh, that's
the
like
8
a halberd. Yeah.
So it says there are 8 kind of weapons.
Yeah. I goofed earlier when I made my video. I said 9, but
Yeah.
it's because I miscounted the slots. Oh well.
Yeah, you can hit them. You can figure out their weakness. You
That's
use
so
the right
cool.
weapon. I think they're taking a little cue from Octopath, you know?
Yeah.
Like Octopath has very similar system.
Yeah, they
Hidden
definitely did.
walls. Yeah. That's a very 90s thing.
Did you ever?
that,
You played this as well, didn't you? The demo.
The demo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played on stream like the day
Yeah.
you released the video that night. I was playing it. Yeah,
Oh man.
got a couple of pretty notable RPG streamer come by to hang out, and we're just all talking about it. It was pretty cool.
That's so much
we're
fun.
definitely gonna- yeah. Oh no, it was great.
でも私はその運命を
Oh, that animation really looks nice.
Right?
ここで諦めるわけにはいかない
Those bosses look pretty rad. I was.
I am very sold. I'm gonna play this. I'm definitely.
I know.
gonna
Me
play
too.
this.
Me too.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway. Is like after I played the demo, I was like, if and when it comes out in the West, I'm definitely gonna be. It's going to get a full playthrough and review.
Ooh, y'all hear that?
I mean, I said it in my first impressions video, man. Yeah.
But did they watch the first impression video? Well, hey, listen, you guys haven't seen the first impression video yet. You know, it's right there.
Oh yeah.
You should watch it.
Oh,
All
man.
right. So for the folks who hadn't watched the first impression, or if you have changed your mind on anything, what would you like to see improved before release?
So I don't know if I don't know if it's too if it would be too much just straight up copying mana to start including a
Mhm,
magic system. It
mhm,
is the one thing about this that so far just feels kind of like it should be there. Like
mm,
cuz mana definitely had a magic system where like,
mhm,
people could cast different kinds of magic and it seems like with their triggers like that would be a pretty easy way to sort of implement some sort of like, oh yeah, and you can cast fire or you can, do whatever elemental type of damage or something like that. Like
mm,
the whole first part of the demo or the entire area of the demo is in this really like ice cold kind of place, everything's snowy and wintry and stuff and beautiful. And I was like, man, when am I going to get fire magic? Like it just feels, but obviously it seems like a lot of the weaknesses and strengths
mhm,
systems that they've built into are dependent upon the weapon types instead of
yeah.
magic. So
Mhm.
that's still kind of cool. That's one thing though that just kind of feels like that's not mana like, and I guess that's not a bad thing. I mean, they shouldn't just wholesale
Yeah.
copy mana, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah. They don't want to
so
go that far into it. Yeah, but now I agree with you with some kind of magic because look, when I played like Secret of Mana or Trials of Mana, one of the things that the NPCs able to do is they can heal, right? Instead of just
mm,
abusing items.
yeah.
So, I don't know how they're going to, make up for that sort of capability. Or like multi-target spells. Like, I don't think there are going to be any kind of like crowd control here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean, as far as crowd control goes, there's definitely those like big attacks that you can trigger
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
I don't know what they called them in game. Um because I was playing the whole thing practically through the lens of Google Lens. That was not a super fun experience, but it got me through
I
it.
bet not. Yeah.
But it was
I
cool.
was wondering how you did that. Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah, I just like Google translated the whole thing with my
Oh,
phone. I
jeez.
was like, all right, try to guess the text. Okay, bring my phone.
Oh,
Okay, that looks okay.
God,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it
I'm
worked.
sorry.
It
Yeah.
wasn't nearly as unplayable as you would expect something like that to be.
Mm.
Um, Gosh, if it doesn't come to the West though, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of like overlay you could do that would just auto translate stuff eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So what else would you like to see different
So
or
I felt like there was do you remember what the additions were that you could install on your weapons and stuff or on your triggers? Um,
the
Mannanite.
Manatite?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mannatite. I think that was what it was
Yeah.
called. I couldn't
Hmm.
remember it during when I was trying to record it. Is like, and there was nowhere I could go to look it up without just replaying the game again.
Just message me. I would have
I know.
told you.
Oh, I didn't know you had been playing it yet. Anyway, but
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, the Mannatite seems like this really interesting concept where you can get little buffs, and it seems like maybe eventually they'll have different rarities of different kinds of Mannatite that you can get equipped. So like the stronger
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm really hoping to see a way that you can really kind of min max your characters essentially with it and just
Hmm.
become ludicrously strong. That's one of my favorite things to do in older style
Mm,
RPGs like Grandia,
yeah.
for instance, where you can like
Hmm.
equip different abilities and skill sets and stuff that would basically make you the big cool just tank, where you attract
Hmm.
everybody's attacks and then you can also like add like counter attack to it or something, and then
Hmm.
also you add a really high dodge rate, and then all of a sudden you're this unstoppable thing that just deals unlimited damage. Like I love that. And so I'm hoping that some of the promises that this game kind of made by showing like some of those customizations that you can do, I
Mhm.
hope to see them really get fleshed out. And I kind of want to break the game at some point with them. And that's what I
Mm.
really want to do, because that's one of my favorite things to do with old RPGs is just find ways to bend them to my will.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a sadistic there coming out.
Yeah.
For me, I just need them to fix the AI. That's my big complaint. Is I was fighting a boss and then they would just die in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Even I was just like fighting through the regular monsters.
Mhm.
Like you see like a red circle right underneath them, and I've already ran away, and they'll just stand right there and be like, "Oh, why did you die?" It's like, what do you mean? There's a red circle underneath you, and then they'll take a hit. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, wow, okay, the AI's the idiots. So
Are you
it's
talking about
like,
the enemy
ground is
AI
red,
or
dodge.
are you talking
Yeah.
about the AI of the enemies or the AI of the companions or
Your
both?
AI, yeah, the companion AIs,
Companion
companion
AI.
AIs, and
Yeah,
it's just like kind of frustrating.
I didn't pay any
So I'm
attention
just
to
like, it's
companion AI.
right there.
I didn't pay
Um,
any attention during my playthrough to companion AI because I'm just like, I want to solo this whole thing. And that's just how I played. I'm like, yeah, okay. The first boss I fought in the ice palace was like it was pretty tough. That's when I almost ran out of items and stuff to heal up. It was the second optional boss, I guess, that you could do afterwards that is tied to a side quest. That one I
Mm.
was a little underwhelmed with. I was like, oh man, that really should have been tougher, especially
Yeah.
when I got the 3 characters finally, and you know, but it was still pretty fun. How did you feel about the
No.
controls of like the actual like different weapon types?
It was pretty smooth. Yeah,
Mhm.
very responsive. I quite like it. Yeah.
I thought the axe dude was
Um,
pretty cool to control as. It was a
mhm.
little bit too slow and clunky, but that's because it's a giant freaking axe. So you can't really like part of me was like I like to use it because it just wipes out whatever's in front of it,
Mhm.
um but at the
Pros
same
and
time,
cons, pros
yeah.
and cons. You
Yeah, it's a
gotta, yeah.
trade-off.
I mean, there are 8 different weapons, so you've gotta make it so that there are sort of uniqueness,
Yeah,
right?
you
That
got to make
fits
them
your
feel
playstyle.
different. Yeah, and I feel like
Right,
so far they've
right.
definitely done that.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see the other weapons. I think we tried like what, spear, axe, like fisticuffs,
Sword.
bow and arrow, sword. Are we missing anything?
Uh so the Guile and the guy that you start with each had a bow, and then the guy also had a
Yeah.
sword. She got a spear eventually,
Mhm.
and then the third character had an axe, and then
The fist, right?
Knuckles. Yeah,
Yeah, the knuckles. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that
We
was
shall
all we
see
got to
what
see so
happens.
far, but it was
Yep.
fun. And it looks like from the trailer they've got like a some other kind of halberd, like a pole arm.
Mhm.
I felt like the spear controlled more like a pole arm than like the stabby kind of spear,
Mhm.
more like yeah, I guess a pole arm.
So it's not a stab.
Yeah, it's like a slicey one. It's a
It's a
slicey spear.
slicey one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's the technical
I
term.
want to see, I want to see how they're gonna balance like the difficulty of enemies with let's say you have like 2 friends over doing like 3 people co-op. This game is gonna be way too easy. It's already easy with
Yeah.
one person,
That is
right?
I mean, it is the demo, so it's hard to but hey, you know what? That's the other thing. They're taking
Mhm.
feedback right now. And that's something that happened at the end. They're like, once you've beaten this demo, please fill out a form and give us some feedback on it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's nice. I like the fact that they're doing that, and
Mhm.
you guys should also definitely, if you're interested, play the game. Give them some feedback. If you want them to increase the difficulty, do it. Um,
Yeah.
but I also understand that
Absolutely.
it's like a demo where you have like an hour and a half to come to grips with the controls. So like they
Mhm.
probably didn't want to make it too overbearing, but yeah,
Mhm.
it could definitely do with a little like at least especially the bosses. I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Want to
Let's
move on
move
to
on to
this
the next one.
next one? All right. And I took this one because Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is
Mhm.
coming to Nintendo Switch in addition to everything else that we've
Yes.
been eagerly anticipating. So, based on the last newsletter, the game is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch. No words on whether or not the Switch version will come out at the same time as the other versions, or if it'll, come out sometime afterwards. So they're still
Mhm.
planning
Yeah.
on a 2023 release window for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, PC, and now Nintendo Switch. So
Bada
a,
bing, bada boom.
a
Yep.
lot of people were really curious if it would come to Switch. I was one of
Mhm.
them. And well, now we can rest assured. I guess
Yeah.
maybe they confirmed this. I don't know. This is just my own hypothesis, but
Mhm.
maybe the sales of 100 Heroes, or not 100 Heroes, but Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. I wonder if that funded the port to Nintendo Switch? If that's
That's a good question. Yeah. That
Could
makes
be.
you wonder.
makes you wonder.
Yeah.
It's all conjecture though. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just rumors.
Yeah, but hey, it's now available everywhere, so you have like no excuse not to play this game now, right?
Yeah, if you want to
Unless it
play it, you
sucks.
can.
Unless it sucks. Then no way.
I would be so
Fingers
disappointed if
crossed.
it sucked.
Knock on wood.
Yep, knock on wood. I don't think it will. For the record, I think
I
it's
don't
going to
think
be
it will.
awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So, yeah. That's just God. I'm so what's the word? I'm so cautious of like Kickstarter games
I
that I'm
know.
still like a little if about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm hoping like the series veteran would like keep the ship, sailing straight and into like JRPG legend,
Oh man, this would be
That
the
would be
stuff of
nice.
legends for sure.
Yeah,
Just the whole
absolutely.
thing, the whole thing. I'm just so yeah. I guess what it all comes down to is this phrase that was handed down to me by my great great grandfather, who once said, "Hype responsibly, children."
Yeah, that's exactly where that came from. Yep.
It's
All right.
SuperDerek,
All right.
legendary family. Yeah, legendary saying. Yep. So
It's
you want to take on
yeah.
this next one here, man?
Yeah, let's do it. So, the next one we got is called SD Gundam Battle Alliance. So, Bandai Namco announced this new action RPG during the Gundam Game Fest, which happened, I think, sometime last week. The game centers around this brick phenomenon. That is bringing different Gundam series from different timeline into a single universe, and that's like nothing new. Anyone who has ever played like the G generation games, they have something similar where it's like, oh, there's like a time quake, and all these Gundams that just folded into a single like history, and then you play through. So nothing
Wait,
new
did you
there
say G
except
Gundam? I
Gundam G
love.
generation. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say G Gundam.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
different. I was all
Oh
excited.
no, no, no.
It's like my hand is burning
No.
red. No, it's different. Okay.
Well, I mean, G Gundam is in G generation games, but that's just an aside.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's this long running tactical RPG series with Gundams called the SD Gundam G generation. So that's where that came from. I think it came on like PS1. Yeah, so it's been a minute. But this is sort of like the newest in that direction of things. But they're calling it an action RPG. Now, should we take a look at gameplay really quick? It is a bit of a long trailer, so I can like control it.
Yeah, for the SD Gundam, you betcha.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look and discuss because they're calling it action RPG, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, it does not look like an action RPG. It's action, all right, but I don't know where the RPG element's coming in.
It's a distorted world. And the story begins by you.
Yep, that was definitely a Gundam, all right.
SD Gundam Battle Alliance.
Yes, it is.
New Gundam action RPG games.
See, they're calling it an action RPG, so I'm like, okay, you got my attention. What's up?
Intervene in Gundam stories
Yeah.
Distorted by break phenomenon.
Brick phenomenon.
World into true history. Powerful visuals.
So is this all done in
dynamic
SD,
combo action.
the entire
Yes.
game?
Yes.
Okay, so
Hit combo with
Hence the
various
SD Gundam.
Yeah.
Title Derek.
all right. I was just thinking it'd be pretty funny if it also had like some, overlap with, non-SD
funny.
universes.
powerful special moves.
Oh, I mean, SD is just the style of.
I know.
the
Yeah.
unit, yeah.
Super deform. I got it.
Yeah,
I was just saying it'd be pretty funny if like, if it had like overlaps like
Gundam just comes in.
yeah, just like a regular like you see the original tall geese show up in like actual proportions,
Hello.
fighting the SD Gundam here. Like that'd be pretty
That would be
funny.
hilarious. That would be hilarious. Yeah.
A 3-platoon joint front.
Yeah.
That can be
So
enjoyed up to
you can
3
do
players.
up to 3
Form a
players.
platoon up to 3
I'm just
players
like,
with friends or restore the computer.
Man, this is starting to sound more like a Babylon Falls situation. So I'm doing like, please tell me this is not live service again,
Go out to
because
challenge a powerful
it looks like they're like
team.
instant base. So I'm just like, is this really an RPG, or are you just calling it that so that we don't like dismiss it immediately?
Complete distorted
Yeah, I
stories of
am.
great missions.
I'm very cautious of this.
Register true stories, true missions. To correct the altered stories and restore the authentic.
If that is the case, I dislike what they're doing to the word action RPG.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pause it here.
All right.
It's gonna go on for like another like 3 minutes. So yeah, but you got the gist of the idea of the game. So, all right. So providing that that is an actual RPG, I'll keep looking into it to see, once they give more information in the systems. So you may or may not see more updates on this one. If it turns out it's gonna be like a Babylon Falls live service RPG, you're not gonna hear us talk about this ever again. But
No, we'll probably hear us trash it.
yeah, we'll hear us trash it when it gets into like one
Yeah.
but look, if it's an actual RPG, and Bandai Namco knows what an RPG is, like they make them. So so this is either deliberate lie, or we just haven't seen enough to like get the RPG element. Regardless, this is coming out on August 25th, 2022. So this year, with a worldwide simultaneous release on PS4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, the Switch, and the PC. So it's literally just like every modern way to play. Pre-order is also available with some bonus content. It's just too numerous to name, but hey, it's in the trailer. So if you look at the trailer description down below, if you're interested, you can see all the bonus contents there.
For sure.
All right.
And you've talked about, or you've played this next game, or
yeah,
an entry in it, right?
2 of the installments in this long series. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the newest installment of the Yomawari series. So Nippoichi announced the 3rd game of the series, which is going to be called Yomawari Lost in the Dark. And so Yomawari 3. In this game, there's a young woman with amnesia searching for her memories in order to overcome a curse. So this game is kind of like a 2D top-down exploration adventure horror game with a lot of like Japanese urban what is those can call like folklore,
urban like an urban legend.
Yeah, it's got like a mix of those in the game, and it's really beautiful. It tells really dark stories. Okay, we should take a look at it. Yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah, I love the art in this game.
I remember it was really striking watching you play this on one of your streams years ago, I think. Or was it for Spooptober last year?
Spooptober, yeah.
But yeah, the art style was definitely pretty striking and definitely conveyed a very certain spooky mood.
Yes. And there goes it is with like Japanese games with like really cute arts, but don't let it deceive you.
Yeah, I do recall it. You were pretty scared.
Yeah.
You were properly spooked.
Very spooked. Yeah, you basically just run around and explore the town.
And there's some like
flashlight
resource management involved too, with like your batteries as you go, right?
Not this one, no.
Not this one, okay.
Yeah, not this one. Yeah. You have to go around and like find items and try to advance the game.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Corpse Party in that regard, where
a little bit, yeah.
And you got to do things in a certain order, otherwise
you have to run away from things. You have to hide a lot.
Oh God.
Yeah. You're starting to see some of those monsters.
Some of those disturbing pieces of imagery. Uh-huh. Oh, man. Yeah, horror games just are not my jam. Uh-oh.
So you were saying about horror games?
Yeah, it's just definitely not for me.
I love horror games.
But yeah, isn't that just so beautiful? What a pretty game.
Very beautiful game. So this game is actually already available in Japan. But it will be coming out with an international release this fall. No exact date yet. But in the next 3-4 months or so. And it's also going to be released on the PC, in addition to the already like PS4 and the Switch. There will be limited edition, and it will be announced in a later date. So we'll definitely cover that as it comes up, like sometime this fall.
All right, cool. Now here's the game that I was really excited for from the get-go. At the mention of Banchou. So I remember there's this a while back on PSP, there was this game that finally came to the United States, and we only got this one entry in the entire series called Kenka Banchou, and it was called Badass Rumble, and I just loved it. It was this thing where you play as a high school punk, and you went on a field trip, and there was these other punks from all across Japan, and you were fighting for dominance. It was like Yakuza for high schoolers or whatever. It was pretty funny, low stakes. It was very humorous. Anyways, at that point, that was one of the things that just got me into loving just the ridiculousness of like the Banchou. And anyways, so that ties into this game that was announced for us called Banchou Tactics, which is a tactical RPG based on high school punks being punks, So Fly High Works have announced this new tactical RPG that's been inspired by Final Fantasy Tactics as well as River City Ransom. The game it follows Taiga Arashi, who is Taiga Arashi, who is fighting for Japanese delinquents' domination in a world in a war between several rival gangs, exactly like Kenka Banchou, Badass Rumble. It's just, I just want to see the regents duke it out. The pompadours.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I hope one of them has the mullet pompadour. I love it. Anyway,
can we look at the trailer real quick so people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, because I'll show it's gonna be great. Here, check this out, guys. Oh, hang on. Gotta hit play first. Secret character.
I think that's the developer.
Yeah.
That's the Taiga Arashi.
Yeah. Sick. I can hear them in my head, just going, "Who does that?"
Romantic chief of the round table.
The art looks great. The character designs look like a lot of fun.
Like the sound effects from like their attack. It's so cool. I love it.
Banchou Tactics.
Wish list now.
All right, so that was a really short trailer. Luckily, we have 2 trailers.
Yes, that's the character trailer, and then now we have the battle trailer, which I think it just looks like a really early build. So I'm hoping they will like improve this as the game. But as you can see, I
love the walk with the hands in the pockets.
They gotta.
That's how you do it.
You gotta keep up your appearance. Yeah. So look at this delinquent wearing their face mask. Like a good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just punching the other guys for not wearing a mask.
He's all about personal responsibility, and he will personally make it his responsibility to kick your butt if you don't, mask up.
Wear a mask.
Oh man.
Punch him with his COVID punk. What are you doing?
And this looks nice.
Yeah. I love the sound effect. I love the sound effect. It comes out when you hit.
Yeah. Oh man, that looks.
Oh man, yeah. So I think that's like a really early build of the game. So I'm looking for it to be like more fluid and
A little more
like
dynamic
movement
with the
speed's
camera.
a little low.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I have high hopes that this is going to be a great tactical game.
Yeah, they can make this incredible. They just need to make sure to crank it to 11. That's
Yes,
that's this kind of that's the kind of game this is. Don't take it too seriously. Be self-aware and embrace it. Just go
Yeah, and just
full
have
on
fun. Yeah.
crazy. Just be ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, if you guys never played the Yakuza series, that's basically what it is. That's see, this is why I'm just like, Derek, why have you not played the Yakuza series? Yeah, the Yakuza series is exactly what you just described, like
Yeah, I know.
why have you not played it yet?
Well, has Yakuza made a tactical RPG yet?
They have a turn-based RPG.
I know. I got to play it like a dragon.
Come on. You don't even like tactic RPG that much. You like
I know.
turn-based.
I know. You're right. I do need to play it. I will. It's just how do I pick what order to tackle games in, right? It's arbitrary at the end of the
For
day.
you, I would just recommend playing like a dragon. Just forget the rest for now. Just play like.
And then I'll
dragon
be
first.
hooked. That's the gateway
Yeah.
drug, right? And then I'll just I'll have to play the rest. That's how it goes.
Exactly.
It's a
You
trap.
guys know what to do, man. Go to Twitter and shame him into submission. Just be like, why have you not played like a dragon? Hey, great hit point today. Great job as a user. By the way, I heard that you haven't played Yakuza yet. Yeah. So this game will come out in Q1 2023 on PC. So no words on the console yet, but fingers crossed.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yes.
man. You want
All
to take
right.
on this next one? What do we got here?
Yeah, so this next game, actually, Derek, I think you might actually be pretty interested in this one too.
Oh,
So
yeah?
next game is called Jack Move. Jack Move is developed by So Romantic and published by Hype Train Digital. This is a cyberpunk themed turn-based RPG where you play as Noah Solares, a hacker from Brighttown who is attempting to save her father and the world. There's actually a Steam prequel called Jack Move ICE Breaker. And that's available right now for free. In fact, I just downloaded it right before the show. So I might like play some of that just to see what the game is about. But it looks really good. And it's gonna come out on the Switch and PC. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, yeah, let's take a look. Hype Train Digital.
Oh, I think you're gonna like this. Yeah.
So romantic.
So romantic.
Oh, so
yeah, I
that's
think you're gonna like this. It looks really good.
it's definitely got that outrun aesthetic going on a little bit there. A little bit VR kind of old school VR looking type of. It kind of reminds me of like battle tanks back in the day. Oh, but everything looks so nice.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
I think there's some puzzles. The art's really nice.
it is. That's a very pretty game.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Turn order at the top, executing hack. So like hacks, I guess, are probably different kinds of attacks. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Is there like a grid-based system? Is that what I'm seeing here in combat?
No, I don't think so. Oh, look at that quick time. You have to do like a button sequence thing.
Yeah. I thought I'm
No,
gonna have
it's
to
not
definitely
grid,
check out.
It's just the floor that's moving. Yeah.
Oh no, I know that was just the floor. I was just wondering if there was also like a
You want to go back and look at it again?
No, it's okay. I'll have to just take a look at ICE Breaker maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see
that
Breaker.
okay. It's definitely got my attention. So
Yeah. See? When I saw that, I'm just like, Derek's gonna like this. Let's
Yeah.
just add another game to your backlog. All right. So the game has the 2022 release on the Switch and PC. So definitely check that out. And if you're interested in the game already, again, the prequel is free. It's called Jack Move ICE Breaker on the Steam. So check that out.
Yeah. Now, speaking of things that I'm going to love, guys, do you remember years ago on the JRPG Weekly Update, right after Dragon Quest XI came out? Not 11S, but like right after Dragon Quest XI came
That
out.
was a minute ago.
It's been a minute. They announced a Dragon Quest Joker, or no, Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 or something like that. It was going to feature Erik and his sister. And I was like, I was all for it because Erik was one of my favorite characters and I thought his sister was awesome and I wanted to see more of like their prequel. And then we heard nothing for so dang long. Well, have I got news for you?
Treasure.
Oh, man. I am so hyped. Dragon Quest Treasures.
Dragon Quest Treasures.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's just a teaser until June 2022. How am I going to hold out until tomorrow? How?
Technically 2 days from now.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
only
true.
the 30th. We have a 31st. Yes.
Yeah, well, I was trying not to break the illusion for everybody watching after the fact.
The next day. Yeah,
Shattered,
sorry, Derek,
shattered
it's
the
gonna be-
illusion there, Baku. Thank you. Good.
I know.
Just kidding.
You're welcome. I like to stick to reality.
So, and that's about all that we know about it. But I've been waiting for this since it was initially announced, and holy cow, it exists still. I thought for sure it was dead in the water. Yeah, and it's interesting that they completely decided to just rebrand it entirely from Dragon Quest Monsters Joker to just its own thing, Dragon Quest Treasures. Yeah.
I think that's a better branding. Like if they want to do it like international release and just like start fresh, yeah, I think that's a good call.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. It rolls off the tongue a lot of bit
Way
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Quest Treasures.
Dragon Quest Treasure.
It's nice that they were. It's nice that Square Enix was kind enough to name the game after both Erik and his sister. Yeah, because they're just.
Yeah, I think so.
They're absolute treasures.
Wow.
I can't remember his sister's name anymore though. It's been too long.
It's been too long. Yeah. Yeah, I don't quite remember the name either, but
I think it's just Eric's sister at this point.
Eric's sister. You know, they do like character trailer. I'll be like, introducing Erik, da 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 da, and then there's like a short clip, and then it's like Eric's sister.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I'm waiting for chat to tell us like who's Eric's sister is, because I know someone chat is like, I will tell you who it is.
Yep.
Go ahead, chat. Mia, there you go. See?
Yep, there it is. Thank you so much.
I knew it. I knew it. Chat knows it. Thank you, chat. All right. The next up, we got another game. Speaking of dragon, we got a game called Drago Noka. So this game is from Playersm. They have announced that there's a new farming life city builder simulator action RPG, all kinds of like things just rolled in. This game got this really strong like Stardew Valley vibe, but with dragon battles. So let's take a look at it.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Dragon battles.
Okay, immediately, I know a lot of people are going to say that looks like an RPG Maker game. That's definitely...
And it may very well be.
It could be. And that's not a knock, honestly. But I feel like That's one of those things that a lot of people are like, oh wow, you can.
Build
Yeah.
houses,
Wow. That's
like an actual building to play. Yeah, you can live in it.
I love it.
You can
I love
invite
it already.
people. Yeah.
Dude, if they go outside, can you see like the roof of the house?
Yes. If you go outside, you see the roof of the house.
And it
'Cause
just
we just saw it
auto
just
generates
now.
that? That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
auto-generates the
see.
roof.
I see the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. So you build the walls, and then once you meet a certain like condition, like the roof just forms. I think.
Okay. That is
Farm,
really
water.
impressive.
their livestock, of course.
That looks so hectic. That looks like a
But
lot.
You know what? Some people love this. Like I don't like these kind of games, but like I know there's a lot of people who loves this stuff.
Yeah.
Like town building with an RPG attached. Yeah. So you have to go into like the mine to mine stuff, and then
Oh,
you have to
wow.
like fight monsters. You can fish. Of course, you can fish because it's JRPG. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You know, that's what defines a JRPG. Does that fishing? And then
And then
Dragon Battle. So this is kind of like a tactical kind of. I don't know how they're fighting this like
Oh,
Dragon
that's-
Battle situation.
huh. It's
They're fighting.
it almost looks like a Suikoden kind of battle, like the
Right.
one-on-one battles from Suikoden.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of
So I
an
don't
inspiration
know.
there.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. This is so early, but it just looks so interesting that I'm just like, we have to talk about this today. So,
Yeah.
But again, hey, if you guys are like really into this sort of stuff, definitely keep an eye out for Drago Noka. I'm gonna keep an eye on it when it gets released. So at
Mhm.
some point,
It-
it's gonna be released on the Switch. Sometime this year.
It looks
No
incredibly
exact-
impressive, man.
right? Now we saw the trailer, it was in Japanese, but don't worry. On release, there will be English, Japanese, and Chinese language support. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah. And someone says, yeah, it is an RPG Maker game. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so impressive, because that, like, I dabbled in RPG Maker, I think back in the early 2000s when I downloaded an illegal copy of RPG Maker XP or whatever. It was a lot of fun to mess around with, but I could never do anything anywhere near like that. That is so incredibly custom that it may as well just be a different, like,
Yeah, I mean that's like the base system, but like with some assets, but
I mean, they're not
truly,
even-
in order to do what they're showcasing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like custom programming involved.
There's-
so, yeah, don't knock that.
yeah, there's like no, from what I even saw, there's like no, in like the initial like turn-based combat mechanic that's built into RPG Maker, there wasn't any of that in there. It's entirely like just custom coded in Ruby. Is that what they use? I guess I can't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah,
It's been so long, but oh, dude,
I just know. Actually, there's a new. Speaking of RPG Maker, there's a new RPG out called RPG Maker Unite. So hey, look, if there are any content creators out there who likes making games, just keep an eye on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Okay.
cool. It's a little hectic looking for me. Like it looks way like a little too zoomed out, but the
Mhm.
whole building of your own buildings, and like they built an they built a town builder into a town builder, dude. That's so cool.
I know, right? I know. Like it's not my cup of tea, but I would love to watch someone play this.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that I would like to watch someone else play, so I feel like, oh yeah, I played it too.
Yeah, definitely. I will live vicariously through somebody else for that, I'm sure.
Exactly. All right. The next game is kind of similar to something we were shown before. You know that little witch game that we talked about the other day, where it was like, oh yeah, this is like
Yeah.
a 2D LTLA game. Well, there's another one that's very similar, but the art looks completely different. It's from a slightly larger company called PQ. PQ, yeah. They have announced a new RPG where you play as a chemist as part of the medical associations. who are tasked to help the local residents when they have fallen ill. So instead of a witch, you play as a chemist, apparently, or some kind of a pack of Harry. Do you want to take a look at the trailer for this one real quick?
Yeah, and which one is the Potion Permit?
Yeah, Potion Permit.
Yep, let me make sure I have that in the I swear I went through and I added all the videos, but apparently you added some after the fact.
Oh, that's right. That's right. This was added after. Yep.
I like the art style.
Doesn't that look good?
That looks really nice.
Yeah.
So nice that I had to I had to punch my microphone for it. Oh, that's gorgeous.
There's some gathering aspects. You have to go and gather ingredients, and then you have to like do your like little apothecary thing. You have to feed the sick people.
Oh, that's such a cute doggo.
Right? I really like the arts in this game.
Me too.
There you go. Potion Permit.
Wow.
PC and console. Yeah. So, so speaking of PC and console, this is again another 2022 release at some point. We'll let you know as it comes closer. This one will be available on PS4, 5, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. There will be a physical copy and digital versions, and also a collector's edition will be available. Pre-order is already open for Europe, but I haven't seen anything in North America or elsewhere. So, hey, if you live in Europe and that looks like your cup of tea, you should definitely check that out.
Yeah. Wow. That's very pretty.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of really nice, like indie-ish games coming out.
Yeah.
You know?
It is so chocked full. Like, and from developers I've never heard of before. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard of P-Cube and stuff, but like that, they're like a publisher, right? But the indie developer studio, like you never,
PQ's yeah,
never, yeah.
PQ's a publisher.
Ah, gosh. So, and like, here's another one from a indie developer I've never heard of before, or at least a Chinese studio that I've never heard of before.
I've never heard of them either.
Okay, so Codename Wandering Sword is a game that's by the way, Codename. I wonder what it'll be called once it's no longer just a code name.
Jesus.
I wonder.
Called it Project Wandering Sword, you know?
I think that there's a pretty good reason that they don't. I mean, I feel like at some point, if they just take that many ideas from Square Enix, someone's gonna get sued. Okay, so this is from Chinese studio Xiaoming Games. I hope I said that correctly. Ish. Yeah.
Close enough.
Okay. So what if Octopath Traveler, instead of being like this sort of like traditional sort of European medieval fantasy kind of setting, was instead like a big, ancient Chinese wuxia kind of like crazy kind of deal. Let's check it out. They got a trailer for it. Yeah, let's just dive in. So very pretty
art right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. So this is a game where the developers promise that you will be able to switch between turn-based RPG and action RPG.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
I have no idea how that'll work.
It looks really freaking good though.
Yeah. They've definitely mastered the art of making Octopath Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
At least the aesthetics. They've definitely got that part down perfectly. Kind of reminds me of like Genshin Impact did a stellar job of taking the art style from there's a grid-based system here, so it's not just Octopath Traveler, but China. It's also integrating, grid-based systems, some tactical in combat. But yeah, like
Codename Wandering. So wishlist now on Steam. Will you
Yeah.
look at that? Wow.
I
Wow.
wonder
Hmm.
what it could possibly be called when they give it an official name.
I wonder.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be called Project Wandering Sword. That's the official name.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you guys just think that we only covered Japanese RPGs. Well, in some sense we do, but we keep our eyes on other interesting things.
Yeah. Hey, that's a CRPG right there. Sort of.
Yeah,
I
that is
mean,
true.
oh wait, there already is a CRPG genre. Oh gosh, I don't know. Anyways, so
It's an RPG.
it's going to
Yeah.
be coming to PC via Steam and will support simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and English. And
Yeah.
I didn't catch the date though, unfortunately.
My
bad.
Ooh.
Because I was in
I
charge of
didn't- I
putting it
didn't
to the docket.
No, I don't think there's any actual dates. They just released this as a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
really nice though. Yeah, that, yeah, I have nothing else to say about it. It looks nice. I suspect here's the pitfall that I see in including the ability to switch between an action RPG and a turn-based RPG, and that
Mhm.
is two different genres of combat that are both very difficult to nail.
Yeah.
So what you're going to be left with is at best one really good way to play and one subpar way to play, right? One
Right.
version is going to be better balanced than the other. Like, and I don't know which version that is, obviously,
Unfortunately.
but
yeah.
there's not really like it's very unlikely that they'll nail both somehow at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you split your efforts, you're probably going to come away with something that's slightly inferior in both directions. Like, the phrase person who chases two birds, or what is that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember the
Yeah,
phrase
I can't.
anymore. Yep. that one that one
I
has
can't
escaped
think
me.
of it either.
Yeah, but basically,
oh.
yeah, if you chase two birds, they're both going to get away from you.
Yeah, I'm not good with these proverbs, so I'm just like, I'm gonna let you figure this one out.
Yep. At least we have the old fallback, hype responsibly. So yeah, that was
Oh,
Codename
yeah.
Wandering Sword, and yeah, it will be in English and as well as Chinese for everybody who
Mhm.
two forms of Chinese for those who
Yeah, two
have a
form
preference.
Chinese. Yes.
So
Yeah.
any intention,
Um,
Baku, of checking that one out?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to come out. Listen, as long as it's not like a Genshin Impact issue, I mean, an Impact kind of situation, I'm happy to like give them a shot. But man, boy, they've really done it this time.
Yeah, they've
So
wholesale
yeah.
just borrowed from.
Yeah, so okay, so there was this whole controversy before, right? When
Yeah.
Genshin Impact first was announced.
Mhm.
First of all, no one knew that Genshin Impact was going to be such a powerhouse,
Yeah,
right? Like I think
no
it
idea.
generated like $1 billion in like the first year. It was just nuts, right? But when it first got announced and it was shown, everybody had an issue with the aesthetics, and they're
Yeah.
all like, oh, they're stealing assets from Breath of the Wild, all kinds of accusation. Well, they all died down, and now it's like one of the best-selling games in the world today. So you can't argue with success. Now the thing that I'm really thinking is like, okay, are we gonna see something similar now? Because like I think a lot of people are just seeing this for the first time. But once more people see this, one more like game publications and more people see this game, I wonder if they're gonna have an issue, like the same way that they had an issue with like Breath of the Wild kind of aesthetics.
I don't
'Cause,
know.
I mean, and this is
Mhm.
way more blatant. like to say the least.
Oh, the
Um,
original was pretty blatant. I feel like I mean Genshin Impact was pretty blatant at the time. Somebody smashed his PS4 at a event in China in protest over at like at like a big indie game like fest thing that they were doing to highlight like the creativity of like Chinese indie developers. And one guy showed up and he was like, "This is he smashed his PS4." And this is back when they were like hard to come by.
mhm.
It was a big deal. I talked about it on JRPG Weekly Update back in the day, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
I think
I
it's
don't know.
crazy. Well, two things. Let me before I move on to this point, it just occurred to me. So I think one of the new trends, trails, Kudo, I think
Oh, Kudo no
isn't that
Kiseki.
game like
Uh-huh.
also like turn-based and action?
I have
Then
no idea.
I could have sworn that someone told me that Kudo, the newest like two games from like the Trails entries is action and turn-based. I don't know how they pull off, and I've only known one streamer who played it personally, and I never stopped by to watch the battle.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Man, I'm gonna ask him later. We'll
Yeah.
run into him later. I'm gonna ask him. But so I just want to say that like if it's true that they do have turn-based and action, then I guess it's not like unheard of. Like it is currently being done.
Mhm.
But to what extent can they do it right? To your point,
Well,
they could easily fail in both counts or only
mhm.
succeed in one.
I mean, look
So
at
we'll
Final
see.
Fantasy VII Remake, for instance, had
Jeez.
action RPG combat primarily, but you could switch into turn-based mode, and it was tacked
Right.
on and awful. So, yeah, I mean, that's I think one feather in that cap at least. Now, I will say I'm not. I mean, it definitely harkens. It looks exactly like Octopath Traveler's aesthetics.
Mhm.
It definitely does, but I don't feel like that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm a fan of the old yank and twist, or the steal something then put your own twist on it,
Mhm.
because nothing is really truly original at this
Mhm.
point. Like,
Yeah.
and if you have a cool way to use something, do it. Do the cool
Yeah.
thing, yank and twist. That's totally
Yep.
fine.
I am in absolute agreement with you. You know, nothing is truly original. So like you've had your head start, right? When did Octopath come out? Like
Like
2, 3, 4 years ago?
2016. I don't know.
Has it
I'll
been
look it
that
up.
long?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a little while, right? And Square Enix hasn't, put in any resources to develop yet new games. Like, they didn't get a sense of urgency
2018.
until recently, right? Yes, I
Mhm.
know they announced HDTD DQ3. They announced, I mean, they released, Triangle Strategy. Yes. Like I get that, but like I've always thought that, they could have done a lot more. As soon as people were like, wow, with like Octopath Traveler, they should have just go full on steam ahead. Instead of doing like the, BS Pixel remake that, no offense, like it's good, but it could have been a lot better. They could have looked into doing that with some of the titles, but
Mhm.
here we are. So
Hey,
yeah.
if the other developers are going to start eating Square Enix's lunch because they've been sleeping on this for way too long and moving too slow because they're too big to be react appropriately, then whatever. That's indie developers go get
Yeah.
it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, basically. And like, yeah, and I've heard people like talk like, oh, is this one team of people who are doing this? Yeah, but that's because Square Enix only allocate resources to have one team to do it.
Exactly.
They can have more than one teams if they really believed in it.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. So now other companies are jumping into this, and I feel like, they could have done a little bit more, but
Yeah.
they also have the IP, so there's no like taking that away from them, right? So all these classic games IPs, they still hold them, right? So they can still make games based off of that. So we'll see how that plays out. But I feel like HDTD being sort of like associated to Square Enix, I think those days are gonna like run out very
I
soon.
mean, have you seen some of the indie developed games that are already going to be using it? Like Eiyuden Chronicle, for instance, looks incredible. It uses a very similar aesthetic.
You're right.
So, or that's the 100 Heroes in particular.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, Crimson. Gosh, I can't remember some of the names of them, but anyways, there's a whole bunch in my videos about games that I'm hyped for that I've released over the last year or so. About like 20 of them, and about half of them are HD 2Ds from indie developers. So
I got
yeah.
one question for everybody, right? Now, indies we seem to forgive because it's like it's the little guys, right?
Mhm.
But let's say if Bandai Namco or Capcom decides to, and you know, as a matter of fact, why don't we use Capcom? If Capcom decides to do a new what's that game?
Breath of Fire,
Breath of Fire, yeah. If they do a new Breath of Fire based HD2D,
I would
like
love it.
would they catch flag, right? Like
Oh, I
would
don't
they
know.
get in trouble? Because
But
they're
here-
a big, you know, developer now, right?
Let's say,
So-
how about we change it to something a little more relevant, like to immediately, like suppose, okay, so this is an indie developer, maybe. What if this was being developed or commissioned by like Tencent? Like,
Oh,
would we
jeez.
would we then be like, would we be a little bit harder on them for that? I don't know,
Tencent,
because they're a huge
Tencent's
megacorp.
They just invested into basically every company. Like
Mhm.
they're everywhere, and I hate it.
I know.
But it's what it is. That's capitalism for you. But yeah, but it's Tencent's a very strange situation. It's like who are they rooting from who are they rooting for anyways, right? Because they got investment in like every single major company.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because it's like, well, that's a way to make me feel pretty conflicted about anything, is put Tencent in it, right? It's just
yeah, no.
Mm.
A quick way to make me not want to support a company is as soon as you put Tencent in, I'm like, all right, I'm Tencent out. So oh jeez. Yeah. Well, hey, tell us what you guys think about the HDTD aesthetics. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What kind of games do you want to see like remade in that aesthetics if you do care for it? Let us know in the comments.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got this one event to to cover, and like that's gonna close out all the game announcements. So there's this thing called the Indies Live Expo, right? And that showcased like over 480 like indie game titles. And that took place over 2 days. It's like May 21st to May 22nd. There's no way we're gonna cover every single one of those games, and we're not gonna try to. There's more than 480 titles. Now, some of them we have covered before, like what is that, like Azure Striker? That's still considered an indies game, which is crazy because I didn't think that they fall into indies territory anymore, but here we are. But we are gonna cover two particular titles out of those that are particularly noteworthy. Now there is this like link in the description down below, so later on if you want to check out all those titles that have been featured, they have like videos over the 2 days, so feel free to check that out. The two games that we're going to cover, one of them called Needy Streamer Overload. I don't know if anyone of you guys heard of the game before, but man, this game is sort of like the kind of like an indie darlings in the last like couple of months. If you've seen a lot of people play that, the gist of it is that you play as someone called Pichan, who is supporting your partner named Ame, and as a partner and a producer, and basically it's a streamer raising simulator, which is
Oh my
funny.
God. You could
It's
raise your
hitting
own
a little
Super
close to
Derek.
home. Yeah,
Or
well,
Baku-san.
that this is just like Amy's life, right? Like Amy's just raising Super Derek. So the game goal is to get Ame's subscriber count up to 1 million within 31 days. So you get to tell her what kind of things to play, what kind of content to create, and how to use. Now it sounds kind of it sounds kind of weird, and it looks super cute, but this game actually deals with some really real like circumstances. I think it's more like a commentary on like mental illness, self-harm, and also sort of like the modern social media obsession with like numbers and likes and all that. So they really do a great job in exploring some of these topics, and that's why it was like selling so much, because it resonated with a lot of people. Now this game is now currently sitting overwhelmingly positive on Steam and has reported sold like 400K copies
Wow.
as of April. So yeah, it's definitely nothing to scoff at. So that game is already out. So what are we talking about? The Steam version is coming in October. So, if that stopped you from playing it on the PC, it is coming to Steam. It's coming out in Japan. There's no words in international release, but the Japanese version will have a full English support. So you can play that. So let's see. So yes, do you want to take out the trailer really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This is the Switch release trailer.
By the way, if anybody is able to actually hit 1 million subscribers in 30 days, this game fails in realism. Like, you should have like 0 subscribers.
Is that not
realistically?
Like, obscenely like cute and pink and just
Yeah.
Unicorn. There's a unicorn aesthetics here.
Yeah, definitely. Just God, do you remember that? Do you remember that game about I was being a streamer sim? It was like a FMV.
Streamer sim. Oh yeah. I remember that. So there are 24 different endings to this game. Some of them will be pretty good, and some of them will be pretty bad. So trigger warning to everybody, because yeah, some of the endings are not pretty. But so what they've said is that in October, when they release the Switch release, they're gonna add additional endings to the Switch version and the PC version
Oh,
for free.
cool.
So if you buy the PC version, you'll get additional endings and all kinds of updates in October as well. So good news for anyone who already owns the game.
Yeah. Someone says,
Yep.
I don't know any VTubers. He says, I don't know. Some VTubers get close to that in 30 days.
There has only I've only seen one VTuber in the history of VTubing who's got 1 million within a month.
And they're
and that
definitely the
was
exception to the rule.
absolutely. There are big VTubers who have been around for like 2-3 years who hasn't had 1 million subs yet. Yeah, the VTuber that I'm thinking about, her name is Gagura. She's like part of Hololive EN. She's sort of like the sole exception where she got literally 1 million. And I feel like maybe she's like the inspiration to this.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, she's nothing like, this particular streamer person, but that number, yeah, no, that's definitely her.
Man, maybe I
but
should be
yeah,
a
so
VTuber.
I think you should be a VTuber.
I've been
I
at
think you
this.
should be a
I've been at this
VTuber.
for 9 years, and I haven't got 1 million yet.
Did you know that you have to like learn how to sing and dance as a VTuber too? And that's like expected. One.
Oh, okay. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Derek's like, I don't do anything.
I'll be your singing, dancing monkey. No. All right. So
yes, the next game that we're gonna cover from the Indies Live Expo is called Lost Epic. Now this one's from 108. This is a new game, not an update. This is a 2D side-scrolling RPG that is finally leaving Steam Early Access with a full content and also additional release onto PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So you can play the game on Steam currently, but that is still the early access version. The full version is going to be, a much larger game, and also coming to console. So the story involves a war between gods and humanity, where the player will play as a knight called, also known as a god slayer, who challenges the deities for the fate of humanity. Pretty generic stuff, fighting gods, typical JRPG, right? No big deal. Let's look at the trailer real quick.
all right.
Oh, it's got the aesthetics that you hate, Derek.
Oh, does it? Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You like, But you know, for a lot of people who are like 2D side scroll,
Yeah.
I don't want to say Metrovania because I don't think this is Metrovania, but yeah. But if you like that kind of like fast-paced 2D combat, I think this might be a great game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lost Epic coming out in July 28th on PS4, PS5, PC through Steam. Again, early access is already available, so if you want to just try the game, but do be aware that the early access is very lacking in content, and they have acknowledged that. So yeah, if you want to take a sneak peek, it's there.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right. So, guys, it's just about time for us to start digging into some anime news. And
Oh jeez, our show's definitely running too long.
I know. We've been at it for over 90 minutes, and we're about halfway through the docket.
I mean, this is what happens when you push it out a day.
Oh,
This
man.
is what happens when you push it out a day.
It's been just a nuts week anyway. But okay, maybe we should flash around this, just like kind of cover a lot of stuff as quickly as we can.
I'll speed it up in this one at least. So, real quick, this thing called Tales of Luminaria, which is a mobile game from the Tales maker. What is it, Namco? Yeah.
Mhm.
So they made a mobile game, and it closed down. But they did have like an anime, sort of like prequel, like 2 episodes on Funimation and Crunchyroll. So the only thing that we want to talk about in this is that the anime will remain even though the game is ending, and because they never really got to like an end game conclusion, because you know the service never lasted long enough to get there.
Yeah.
They're gonna release like a final episode to sort of like tie this thing with a neat bow. So that's their that's their solution to this. So hey, if you're a Tales fan and you like the mobile game, or you just want to watch more like Tales animation, keep an eye out for it. There's gonna be a special episode coming soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So last week we talked a little bit about an upcoming announcement of Final Fantasy IX, and we have a follow up on that. Kinda.
Yes. Kinda.
You want to take it away?
So yeah. So it was announced that FF9, the anime series, will be reviewed in a Las Vegas licensing expo. You heard correctly. Las Vegas licensing expo. Now, why is a Square Enix much beloved Final Fantasy IX animation being reviewed at a license expo? No one really knows. But see, here's the thing: the expo was supposed to be May 24th to 2026. Notice that's come and go, and we have not heard a single thing.
Crickets.
It's just radio silence. I've looked everywhere for like, oh, so what did they review? What happened? Nothing. So that's leaving us very uncomfortable as far as like this project's concerned. It's Square Enix. It's Final Fantasy. It's been developed by some like French like studio, and then it's been announced at a licensing expo, and then that's done, and now we don't hear anything at all. Nothing about this is, yeah. It's just,
I don't know. I don't think the Ranger's gonna like this one, Yogi.
Yeah, this does not look good. So, but hey, as soon as we hear more about it, we'll keep you guys updated. But just know that it's not because we didn't want to find something to tell you guys about. There's nothing out there.
It's just weird. Okay.
Yeah, it's just extremely, extremely weird.
So
Yeah.
that's the bad news. But
That's
here's
the
some
bad
good news. I got some good news. And that is that fans of Hunter x Hunter rejoice because hiatus is over. So, mangaka Yoshihiro Togashi, known for his work on creating Yu Yu Hakusho and more recently Hunter x Hunter, has been on a hiatus for years now, citing, health issues with his back and stuff. The last time he actually released any manga for this series was back in 2018. And fans
that was such a long.
I know. That's why, and it's such a beloved series and everything. That's so. So here I'm gonna actually share a little chart that fans have been actually keeping track of for a long time. Right here, this is the Hunter x Hunter
Oh,
hiatus chart.
jeez.
All right,
Uh-huh.
blue is when it first started appearing in Shonen Jump, and then every week since then, the blue is in it, and then red is not. And then, as you can see in this chart, the last time they released at all was at the very end of 2018, and then it's gone like a. And this was last updated in like the end of 2021, so it's gone over. Oh my gosh, it is such a beloved series, and it's just
Yes.
killing everybody so much
Mhm.
that it's just, we're hoping and kind of losing hope in a lot of ways, actually. But
Mhm.
so here's where the good news actually starts. Out of the blue, last week, Yoshihiro Togashi created a Twitter account out of nowhere, just a freaking auto-generated username and everything on
Yeah.
Twitter.
It was
And
weird.
this is really weird. And he announced that he was going to be working on 4 new chapters of Hunter x Hunter. And
Yeah.
and he has since then, in less than a week, he has amassed over 2.4 million followers on Twitter, surpassing the mangaka Kohei Hirokoshi. I hope I probably mispronounced that. The person behind My Hero Academia, who I think who was prior to that, like had the biggest following of any mangaka on Twitter,
Mhm.
and he's been posting daily updates ever since. There is the mangaka behind Vinland Saga,
Mhm.
Makoto Yukimura, said this about Hunter x Hunter. Said Hunter x Hunter is an amazing manga. I like the Chimera Ant chapter. I hope that the series will really resume. It's so crazy. It feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
So speaking on that a little bit, there was a period of time when no one knew if this account was authentic.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
true.
like you said, like the name is just like some random generated like strings of numbers and stuff, and it was just like, who is this? So actually, this is really funny. The mangaka for One Punch Man quoted the tweet and basically said, "Yeah, this is the real deal."
Yeah.
So and that's when everyone like jumped in on it.
Yeah.
Right. So that was really wild.
I remember that
following this whole
very
thing.
first day that it was like people on the Hunter x Hunter subreddit were like, is this real? And I saw one other mangaka reach out. It said, that you, Togashi?
Yeah. Is this real?
He's not following anybody, and all he's just doing is
He made one tweet.
it's like if my dad made a Twitter account and is like, is this thing on? Just got 1 million followers.
He's like, yeah, working on no, sorry, he said something along the, oh, there are 4 more chapters. That's it. Just a picture of like the corner of
like a
the
tree
manuscript, and then just like, oh yeah, there's like 4 more chapters coming.
Oh
And then
my
that's
god.
it. That was the tweet that like destroyed Twitter for a day.
Like you would have no idea that it was even him. Like that's the funny thing.
No.
Like
The One Punch guy to be like, yep, that's real. That is him. That is him. And everyone's like, oh, it's him. Follow him.
yeah, just completely follow bomb. Like God, just 2.4 million followers just in a week.
Yeah,
If he was a streamer, he'd have hit that 1 million subs by now.
exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I would follow him.
The
I would follow
dark-
him in heart. If
I
he
did follow him.
streams, I would follow him in a heartbeat. I need to see this.
yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, the dark ages are over. I hope. I mean,
now.
it could just be that he's going to put out like 4 chapters and then be done for like 5
Can we go back
more
to your
years.
chart really quick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here
Here we go.
back to your chart. I don't feel that confident about the 4 chapters.
I know. But hey, something is better than nothing, right?
Yeah. And I guess also for anyone who's still thinking like he's just being lazy, he's been having really bad health issues. So we're all wishing him all the best. Wishing he's actually finally getting to a point in his health where he can actually do it
Yeah.
instead of feeling like he had to do it. We're hoping that he's finally like recovered enough to do like a continuous release. So
Plus,
That's where we are. As
we
fans.
we also just hope that he can get it released before the release of Dragon Quest 12. Because he's also pretty famous for taking hiatuses around every release of Final Fantasy or of Dragon Quest, which is pretty funny. I mean, how can you blame him? Oh my god. Man after our own hearts.
Can you imagine like a Hunter x Hunter game? Like, why is there no Hunter x Hunter
Dude,
RPG? You like RPG so much.
in
Like,
Hunter
come on,
Hunter,
dude.
you remember Greed Island? The Greed Island arc of Hunter x Hunter. They need to make a video game out of that. That would be so
They
good.
should.
That-
They should.
Anyways,
Or you know what? Just take a page of like One Piece. You know, I'm hoping that he sees how well the One Piece RPG does and be like, you know, I could do a Hunter x Hunter RPG.
dude, I would.
We
I
support
would.
you.
Actually,
Let's go.
I think that there was on Game Boy Color. That's how long Hunter x Hunter has been long running. By the way, it's
Oh yeah.
there's a Game Boy Color Hunter x Hunter game. I own it. I don't.
Man.
I have no idea if it's any
Hunter x
good.
Hunter's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading the first chapter of the Shonen Jump years and years. Like I was in middle school, probably. I think I was in middle school, maybe even before that. Yeah, I just remember reading like the first chapter of the Shonen Jump, and I was like, wow. And the rest was history.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so the next piece of news is also really fast. No new game, but Dragon's Dogma has a 10th anniversary website. Links down in the description down below. Okay, next piece.
All right. Sony State of Play has been announced here. It's coming up on the 2nd, so just a couple days from now. And yeah, that's going to be happening here pretty soon. It's going to showcase several games in development as well as the new PS VR 2 headset. So
yes, the new VR2.
that's it. What are we hoping to see from State of Play? Have you got any hopes here, Baku?
The live stream link in the description down below, by the way, for anyone curious to watch it. It's going to be in June 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern time and 5 p.m. Central time. What are we hoping to see? What am I hoping to see? I'm hoping to see Final Fantasy 16. Really hoping to see Final Fantasy 16 and or Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2.
Yeah.
What about you, Derek?
I don't know. I don't care. I would
Come on, you're
these
a newsman. At
events.
least, you gotta at least pretend to be excited.
I know these events always let me. These events are always a huge letdown because they never focus on the RPGs. There's always going to be like, oh, there's going to be some vroom vroom. There's going to be some shooty, some bang bang, and I don't know. Probably some indie stuff. Like there's probably going to be like some
Nintendo showcase. You know, did a pretty good job the other times.
I know. I'm just feeling particularly jaded about this one. I don't know why. No particular reason.
It's because of Sony.
Yeah, maybe.
Sony.
I mean, honestly, it's just I feel like it's because like the really cool AAA stuff that gets showcased and stuff like this. If and when it shows up, it's always the really normie stuff, right? It's gonna be the Final Fantasy. It's gonna be. I mean, maybe not Dragon Quest. I mean, Dragon Quest 12 would be really awesome to see something of, but it won't because it's too early in development, I think.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean,
see Forspoken. Do you remember Forspoken?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the one where the gal got taken from New York into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked
into this like isekai, and she fights with her like nails. Like she's got like spell encrypted on her nails.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it is really
cool.
that
they should definitely have that then. Good point.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for coming up with one for me, Baku.
You're welcome.
There's probably gonna be like another Assassin's Creed or something, and
yeah, no Assassin's Creed, please. I don't care.
Just Dance.
Just Dance. Wait, hold on. I thought Just Dance is isn't Just Dance
it's just
Microsoft?
a dancing game. Is it Microsoft? I don't know.
I thought Just Dance is
probably FIFA.
FIFA. Oh god. Madden. Sports Ball 2023. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying hype responsibly. Don't get your hopes up too high here, guys.
Absolutely.
It could be a huge letdown.
All right. So, and we've got another live stream coming. This time it's from Sega. This one is going to be June 3rd. which June 3rd, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central Time. So instead of evening, it's going to be during the morning. Executive producer Hiroyuki sorry, let me try this again. Hiroyuki Miyazaki and also creative producer Yosuke Okunari will both be appearing on the live stream. Now, both of these producers are heavily involved. So there is a good expectation
your mic
that this
cut out for a second.
new project is going to be Sony related. I'm sorry?
Your microphone cut out there for a second. You said they're both involved in what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm saying that they're both heavily involved in the Sonic franchise.
Oh,
so,
Sonic, okay.
You know, we could probably expect that this new project may be Sonic related. Now, the tweet that they sent out that made the announcement to the live stream had a picture of what appeared to be like a chocolate cake in the shape of a Genesis controller. So that has led to some speculation that maybe it's a Sega announcement for a mini console. We don't know, but we'll figure it out in June 3rd. Again, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central Time. The link is down below with the live stream, so check that out if you're interested.
All right.
Next piece of news, really fast. For those who care, there's a Pokemon Diamond and Pearl sign library, and it's actually going to close tomorrow. That's right. This thing was released in the West in February of this year, and within 3 months or so, they're closing it down already, which is really fast. But hey, this library lets fans download music from the Diamond and Pearl series and provide guidance on how you can use it for different kinds of projects. There's a total of 149 tracks and 2 packages available for download. So say you want to make a fan game, you want to make these fan videos, you want certain Pokemon sounds in your background when you're making a YouTube video about Pokemon. That's where that is. That's where they're getting the sound asset, and they basically released it for use for certain ways. You can look into it, but definitely check that out if you don't want to miss out on some free sound assets.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess that kind of wraps things up for some of that industry news. So that brings us.
That was fast. That was fast. We got this.
Yeah. I think. Gosh, I know. Because we're back. Yeah, we're pretty much caught up. I mean, we've got a couple more.
You see that?
Things. Yeah.
So are we slowing down again?
Yeah, we can slow. Yeah, we can slow back down here.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about merch drop. This is actually a really quick piece of news. So for anyone who watched our show before, we talked about Final Fantasy 35th anniversary UNIQLO collaboration, all right, where they released one show for every main series Final Fantasy to celebrate the 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
So that sale, I made a tweet about it, and basically the shirts were gone within 10 minutes.
Jeez.
So this is actually one of them right here.
Oh my God, you got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, no.
No?
I got some. There were ones that were extremely popular that I was camping the site.
Oh, wow.
And I still couldn't beat people. And well, part of it is because UNIQLO decided to screw up my account. They're like, oh, you haven't logged in for the last 90 days. You have to change your password. I was like, dang it. Okay, let me change my password. Oh, the server is overload, it's not working. Gotta be kidding me. So I lost precious time trying to reset my password, get my account back. And then I didn't even use that account. I logged into a different account. It was faster just to log into a different account.
Oh, jeez.
And even then, I only got 4 out of the 8 shirts that I wanted. So why am I talking about this? Because it was just so overwhelmingly positive that UNIQLO is doing a reprint in late June. So in a month, expect me to talk about this again, but this time, don't sleep on it.
This time you're gonna get the ones you wanted.
If you want this, do not sleep on it. And the quality, they're really good. The quality of shirts really good. Because that's something that people worry about. It's $20. I've never heard of UNIQLO for what is this? First of all, t-shirts cool. They do really high quality prints and high quality shirts for a relatively low price. So it's nothing like you would expect from like H&M or like I don't know Forever 21. Like it's actually pretty good quality stuff. So buy with confidence. I back it 100%. But yeah, also not sponsored by UNIQLO. But if you want to sponsor us, we're here.
Awesome. Thanks, Baku.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about those shirts. I remember when we were looking them over, like not all of those shirts were created equally.
Mm.
So did you get some of the cool like unique ones that weren't just like
You know, I wanted to show off my Final Fantasy 6 one because that was the one that I really wanted, and
Yeah.
thankfully I was able to get it. Thank you, US, for not liking Final Fantasy 6 because apparently it's not like everybody's favorite. And I think they expected people to like Final Fantasy 7 a lot, so I think they had
Mhm.
like extras. But let me try to remember which one was sold out. Final Fantasy 12 was sold out really quickly because it
Really?
looked pretty good. The original Final Fantasy one was sold out really fast because it's just
Makes
such
sense.
Final Fantasy, right?
Sure, yeah,
So like any Final Fantasy fan would kind of want that one, even if you didn't like Final Fantasy one. It just sets Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that was relatively available. Final Fantasy 14 gone in minutes because there's so many overseas Final Fantasy 14 fans.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know what the situation is like right now because some people might have like returned and they get new stocks in. But the last I checked, most shirts were sold out within 20 minutes.
Wow.
So
That's
don't
nuts.
sleep on it. Like if you want this, don't sleep. If you don't want it, then whatever, then you don't care. But if you want this and you missed it late June, try again. Okay. Next up, we got another Square Enix thing. This time is the NieR Replicant Kaine Play Arts is now available for pre-order. I don't know if I got. Hold on. I don't know why my screen is not for you.
Oh, do you want me to?
Hold on. No. It should work. Oh, there we go. Do you have it in now?
Nope.
Oh, that's very strange.
Oh, you know
hold
what?
on.
We had some before stream technical difficulties. If you send me the link again via
Oh,
Discord,
that's
I bet
right.
that's gonna fix it.
Yeah, here, try this.
All right, let's try that again here.
Yeah,
Go
we're gonna
to.
show this off really quick.
All right, just a second.
Got it?
There we go.
There we go. Okay, yeah. So, really quick figure news. Obviously, this is from NieR. This is the kind of figure. The Play Arts Kai is sort of like the action figure series from Square Enix. So, just want to give you guys a heads up that the pre-order is available. It's sitting at $200 US. I don't know what that means for like pounds and elsewhere in the world, but at least that's the price here. It actually does look pretty good. So if you guys are a big fan of the NieR series, like action figures, there it is. That's your poison. Personally, I don't like posing figures, so I'm gonna wait for the static one. They have announced that there's going to be a static figure as well for Kaine and also for A2. And whenever that's available, I'll definitely be talking about it.
Super cool.
Yeah. Now, speaking of figures, and this is where we're going to end our docket, basically. Let's talk a little about WonHobby G Gallery. Was WonHobby Gallery 2022. So this is from what is a Good Smile company, which is a huge company that makes many. In fact, I think you guys are already immediately recognizing some things in here. But I'm just gonna highlight a couple of ones that relates to more to like gamings. So we've got Doki Doki Literature Club with the next Nandroid that's coming out. They ever released one for Monica, which is one of the characters from Doki Doki Literature Club. We didn't know that they were going to release additional ones, but here we are. We see this character named Natsuki. So we do have expectation that they'll release the other two girls. There are 4 girls in this game. And also, if anyone has never played Doki Doki Literature Club, I highly. We also got a Shovel Knight that is in production right now. We got an extra large Attack on Titan. So this is the extra large version of Papa Parade. It stands 40 centimeters.
Oh wow.
They're how long is how tall is 40 centimeter?
That's
It's sizable.
yeah, that's like 15 inches.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. So this thing is like $200. So hey, if you want like a real Titan for Attack on Titan, there you go. We also got a Danganronpa. For anyone who is a Danganronpa fan, Junko should require no introduction. So they're making an Android for her. Let's see what else is like really notable. Oh, right.
What?
They're making. Yes, right. Remember how we were talking about like making furry controllers? Remember that?
Yes.
Well, they have they're making Nandroid Elmo, and I don't know how this is gonna work. Obviously, this is not the the product photo. This is
Yeah, that's
actually
just
what
Elmo. Yeah.
Elmo looks like. Yeah, this is Elmo. So, whenever we see what the Nandroid version looks like, whether or not it will have fur on it, we'll let you know. Also, Cookie Monster.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be Big Bird. I thought it was gonna be Elmo and then Big Bird. Who knew that like Cookie Monster is the more popular one?
You know, was it you? It wasn't you that I was talking about Sesame Street with before. I recently came to this realization about why Cookie Monster was such a sloppy eater, and it like took until I was 35 dang years old when I realized like, oh, yeah, he was a sloppy eater because he doesn't have a throat. Like he legitimately cannot he cannot swallow cookies. He's a messy eater because that's just the puppeteer crumbling the cookie in his hand. Like, I mean, because like you don't think about that sort of stuff when you're like 12, right? Like you're like, or you're watching it and you're like, huh, man, he sure is a sloppy eater. And then you're 12, he's like, yeah, that was weird. That was a puppet, whatever. But then I'm like 35 and I'm like, this is a conspiracy.
So there are things that you think about when you hit 35.
Yeah, because you just don't question it. You just don't question it when you're young. And then when you get older, you're like, huh, oh yeah, that's right. That was weird. Oh, duh.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah. World
All right.
changing.
We also got a new Sophie Nandroid for anyone who are like fans of the Eltelia series. A lot of Nandroids. Not a big fan. Nandroid for A2. This time's the short hair edition. So if you didn't like the long hair, you like the short hair A2. This waifu is for you. And then probably that's probably it as far as like games.
Well, technically,
there's some anime things, but you kind of see it.
Technically, there's some Sword Art Online down there, and they have games too.
Now, you know what? Yes. Where are they now? Oh, there
Right
we
there.
go. They're releasing the Sawacho version. So basically, like legs and stuff. They can just sit in a chair. That's basically it.
I gotcha.
It's like a small little change, yeah. But people seem to like it because it's kind of cute. Of course, there's the 15th anniversary for Hatsune Miku. For anyone who does not know, like I'm a big fan. But anyways, here we go. Yes, okay. Oh, where's my wallet? All right. So yeah, that's. Oh, actually, you know what? One more thing. This is Guts from Berserk. Look at that.
That's not an Nendroid though. That's
a Papa Parade. So that's the relatively inexpensive figure that's non-scale that they released. Now this one, the Papa Parade L. So remember how I was saying like, oh yeah, there's an XL. The XL is like 40 centimeter.
Yeah.
This one is 24 centimeters.
Okay, so just under a foot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
God,
so,
that is a striking. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's gonna run you about like $80, which is pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's not.
Yeah, figures got very expensive. Like for this size and this like detail for $80, that's actually a pretty good steal. Yeah. If you like Berserk, definitely check this one out.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, link down below. If you want to check out the entire gallery. We're not going to look at all of them, but as you can see, they're all like kid friendly. Oh, and also Kirby. Yeah, right. Okay. 30th anniversary Kirby is coming.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. I think we've made it through the docket. That's
Yes, we did.
It was looking pretty touch and go there for a minute, but we made it.
I think the games just took a long time because we're
there were so
talking
many.
their video.
It was
So many
exciting
of them,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good games. Like I'm very excited. This is boy. Do you know talking about the golden age of RPG? I think you
Oh, I
feel
know.
like with that with these many like indie developers that are just making much more polished products than we're used to.
Mhm.
I feel like they're going to contribute quite a bit to this like said like new golden age. Like that's like the new element, right?
Yeah.
Because we
And
didn't have a like indies, like that's not really a thing like
yeah.
before. Like game studios were relatively small to begin with back then, before the game, industry like basically overtook Hollywood, right? But
Mhm.
before, especially after like the collapse of the game industry, they had to sort of like build themselves back up. So they were all
Yeah.
basically indies, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
man, now this is such a great time to be alive, to be
I
an
know.
RPG gamer. I can't,
The floodgates
Jack
are
Move looks
opening.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Oh, hey. So before we wind down, Baku, what are you doing these days and where can people find you?
These days, well, so we recently did a raid train that lasted 8 days, and we're $100 away from raising $64,000.
You were 100 away from 64
We were $104 away.
Whoa.
$64,000. We're like $63,896 as of last night.
Dude, that is
So if
incredible.
anyone wants to come by and give us $104, 4,000, you'd be the hero. But anyways, yeah, but I'm not holding my breath because the event's technically over. But hey,
Mhm.
for all the folks who came by to support us, thank you so much for your support. And if you're looking for more ways to give, to participate, we still have ways for you to do that. So just reach out. Otherwise, I am really thinking of moving my stream days. So instead of taking off on what is it, Monday, Tuesday, I might start streaming there. But otherwise, my current schedule is Wednesday to Sunday, and I'm currently playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition to prepare for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out in July. So if you guys want to see some Xenoblade action, definitely come by and hang out and just chat.
Awesome. All right. Well, I have been continuing to play through Chrono Cross over on Twitch, and it's been going pretty good. Yeah, pretty much. Also, I guess last week I put out a couple of extra videos. Normally, I only maybe put out one extra video in addition to HitPoint, and last week I just got a bug in my craw, I guess. I think that's the phrase. And I put out my first impressions of Trinity Trigger, which was a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to more of that.
So fast.
I know.
Oh my
I saw that came
God.
out and I'm like, I got this.
You were
'Cause-
so fast.
Yeah. And then, well, I also put out a video talking about kind of just an explainer video, a new channel trailer that's kind of like
I like that
explaining,
one.
my philosophy as a reviewer and how I try to do things around here. And, so if you're interested in some, waxing intellectual about stuff that doesn't really matter in the big picture, go ahead and give it a watch. It was a lot of fun. So before we wind down, we do have some additional super chats here to respond to here, Baku. We got one here from Still Alive who says, with Live Alive coming soon. God, I still gotta drill that into my head that it's not Live Alive, it's Live Alive.
Live Alive, yeah.
Yeah. What other RPGs that never left Japan would you love to see finally make it? For instance, Terranigma or Mother 3 or something like that. So it's a good question. So Terranigma did leave Japan. It just didn't make it to the States, unfortunately. And I would love to see it retranslated, like by a really good localization team. Because the localization that we did get in English was by Enix of Europe, and it just wasn't super solid. There's some things that could use some work. But otherwise, yeah, I would love to see Mother 3 come out officially in the West, but also we got a really fantastic fan translation of it. So I feel like we're kind of spoiled with that one already, and it would be a waste of a wish, I think, to spend it on Mother 3. What
What
do you think?
if? What if by some miracle
Hmm.
that they would pull a Falcom and just go, this translation is really good. Let's just partner with you and use this script.
That would be incredible.
God,
I don't
does
think it would
Nintendo
happen.
take no,
It would
please?
be if I mean, hey, okay, let's say we're in just wave a magic wand territory and it happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would do that. That would be so cool. There's a plethora of reasons that won't ever happen, unfortunately,
Mhm.
but it would be incredible. But other RPGs that never left Japan. Gosh, I mean, there's so many. Like, I mean, Live Alive is a perfect example. I mean, we had Seiken Densetsu 3, which used to be a perfect example.
No longer.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I know.
What a time to be alive.
I know.
That's why I'm having a harder time being like, I don't know.
Well, while you think on it, there
Oh,
are I do have two games.
Gunman's Proof. Gunpowder.
One is called what?
Gunpowder. Gunman's Proof. That's a Super Famicom action adventure game. It's like a Wild West inspired, and it's supposed to be really, really, really good. And I want to take a look at it at some point, but it's also really, really, really rare. Even, I mean, yeah, I'll take a look at it someday. It's cool.
Actually, no, I have 3 games that I can think of that should come one day. There's something called the Arc No Surge DX, which is the part of the Art Tanelico series. This one is in Japan only, and it's in PS4. All they have to do is apply the translation and release it. It's not even a big ask. And this was released like in 2021, but it was Japan only, and they never did an international release. So for anyone who is like, oh yeah, they released it here, not always, and this is a perfect example. Another one would be the maybe like what is it called, the remade version of Star Ocean 2.
Oh yeah,
Like,
on
yeah,
PSP.
you know how like you have Star Ocean R.
Oh, are you
And like they technically have a Star Ocean 2
Yeah.
ready to go. They just need to translate and release. And then for whatever reason, we don't have that in the West.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe give us that, Square Enix. I would take that, please. Thank you. And also, if you want something like that's older, that never even saw a remake, the Treasure of Rudra. I mean, come on, like
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer. So like HD2D that, package it up, English it, and send it to us. Thank you. Well, I'll take that too.
That's
Mall is open, Square Enix. Come on, man, you're called.
Yep. Man. All right.
Yeah, what are some games that you guys want to see that may have never been, released from Japan, that you feel like, you know what, this is a strong contender for a great game to be localized? Let us know in the comments.
Also, we got another super chat here from Duobeard who says that he's still
Hello,
awaiting
Duobeard.
the days of the day of a turn-based racing RPG. And actually, Duo, I think somebody actually mentioned that there is one. There is.
What?
Yeah, there is one. It's a racing RPG. And I found out about this when I put out my video about God, what was it was a recent video.
I gotta look this up.
About
now.
Finding, like, picking out RPGs I was saying start playing RPGs in 2022. That's right. In that video, I was talking about how, like, you can start playing RPGs and finding a way to essentially find ways in by finding overlaps in different genres. So somebody mentioned that they really enjoyed racing games, and I'm like, I don't really know any of those off the top of my head. And then somebody responded to that, and they actually found, like, it's got like random encounters as you like walk around in town, and you have to like race against other people. It's really weird.
Is it Racing Lagoon?
I think maybe.
Is it Racing
Is it
Lagoon?
like, here, let me look up
It's like a PS1 game. It's from Square Enix.
No, it's not that. It's much older. It's like
Oh, Square, not
It-
Square Enix.
Yeah, it's like an NES game, I think, that I'm thinking of.
Okay. Well, this one's 1999, so it's like it's back there.
Yeah, but no, this is like
Mm,
Super Nintendo,
Like
Nintendo
1980s.
Entertainment System.
yeah, just because Raising Lagoon was interesting.
Here, I'll see if I can find the answer real quick. If I can find it, it's just gonna take me a minute.
Okay. Yeah. In the meantime, racing RPG. Can it be turn-based? Can it be turn-based racing? I don't know how he can do turn-based racing. I really don't. Is it gonna be like okay, never mind. I take it back. I can imagine a turn-based racing game because it would just be basically like
Oh,
Mario
it is Racing
Party.
Lagoon. Okay.
Is it Mario Party basically just a turn-based racing game?
What was that?
Isn't Mario Party basically a turn-based racing game?
Geez, I don't know. I don't
Think
know
about it.
that.
Like you're racing against your other friends, and you are taking turn rolling the dice and racing across the game board, right? Like, is that what turn-based racing game would look like?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't find the comment anymore, so we'll call it.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
it was Racing Lagoon. There you go.
It's Racing Lagoon. Yes.
All right. Well,
I can't believe that was a thing.
I know. It's nuts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you all so much for hanging out with us this evening. It has been a pleasure to stream for all y'all. And if you, by the way, you like your RPG podcasts in podcast form instead of video form, you can find us in a lot of different places. So check the links in the description to find us there. And if you happen to listen to us on one of those podcasting platforms of choice, be sure to leave us a review and give us a like or whatever it is wherever you are.
Yes. Absolutely.
Nailed that outro. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your
Leave us
week.
those voicemails, people. Get some voicemails so we can listen to it. Also,
Yep.
yes, just one more thing.
Oh yeah.
Timestamps comes the next day
Oh yeah. Nobody.
because it's not automatic.
I know. I always get
takes time.
those messages, but here's the thing: they won't hear this. They won't hear this until like the end of the podcast. I know. All right.
Timestamp comes the next day.
All right.
Stop asking for timestamp.
See you
It takes
guys.
time. Bye.